Did you know that there are 1,026,690 abortions that occurred in the formal healthcare system in 2023? According to CDC, the nation's public health agency, there are about 3.6 million babies born each year, which means that there could have been 4 million babies, but instead a quarter of them were killed because of abortions. My name is Eilertson, and today I'll be talking about what is considered to be life, the emotional and physical scars left on people who have had an abortion, and lastly, the rights of the baby itself. After listening to my speech, I hope that you have way more insight on why I 100% discourage you or your partner to have an abortion, not only for the taking away of the baby's rights, but also for the safety of yourself. To start, let's establish what society considers to be life. Society considers human life to be when a fetus can be viable. However, it's at conception. According to a MD at St. Louis University School of Medicine, the embryo starts as fertilization and then divides up to 6 to 10 cells and then becomes a blastocyst, and so on with the development of humans. Many pro-choice people say that because a fetus is only potential life, then it isn't actually life. According to the National Library of Medicine, a website that supports biomedical and behavioral research, says that life is at conception or fertilization, and 52% of people believe that a human is considered to be a human at birth. While I understand why some may believe this due to the false news out there and lack of facts, I'm here to tell you that is not the truth. The youngest surviving baby was born at 21 weeks, which is still a legal age to have an abortion. So when it says abortion is legal until 24 weeks, and the argument is because the fetus is only potential, there is a 3-week margin of error between those two statistics of legal abortion. Think of it this way: potential is defined as existing in the possibility according to the Merriam-Webster. However, the word potential is not paired with potential thunder or potential skill. No, it's being compared to life, a fetus. Imagine if someone labeled you as potential in the womb. It just makes no sense, and it completely throws ethics out of the window. When we hear about a sex organ, we don't say, oh, it's a potential sex organ. No, well, just because a sex organ doesn't reproduce doesn't mean it is not a sex organ. According to the Cleveland Clinic, a nonprofit medical center that treats complex medical cases, says that after the 8th week, it's called a fetus until it's born, which again puts a margin of error in the legal abortion up until 24 weeks. Terms like potential give the misguided belief that it could go either way, when in fact this statistic is grossly underinflated. An occupational medicine specialist in Davis affiliated with the U.S. Davis Medical Center says that we in the health professions teach that tobacco is the leading actual cause of death in the U.S., yet if aborted babies were counted as others are, abortions would be acknowledged as by far the largest single preventable cause of life. How crazy is that? If the term potential was taken away from fetuses in the womb, I could almost guarantee you that abortions, the numbers would decrease and the amount of murders would decrease. Not only does this save the baby, it also saves the mother from an immeasurable amount of physical and mental pain. Some say that there are no long-term effects to abortion, but there is a term that proves that this claim is wrong, and that term is post-abortion syndrome. So what is it? It is the emotional and mental impact left on a woman who has had an abortion. According to APA, American Psychological Association, more than 50 years of international psychological research shows that having an abortion is not linked with mental health problems. While I get why some people would think this is a valid statistic to prove a pro-choice belief, abortions do cause problems to the bodies. Not only are there physical disadvantages with not being fertile anymore, or issues with childbearing in the future, risk of breast cancer, premature death, there are also mental health issues of 21%. There are also mental health issues. According to the National Academy of Sciences, women with abortions report high mood disorders of depression, bipolar, and dysthymia of 21%. Crazy. Also, according to David Reardon, an anti-abortionist who wrote 5 books, states that 2 years the participating remnant had significantly rising rates of depression. Diving into a different source, Priscilla K. Coleman says that women who have undergone an abortion experience an 81% increased risk of mental health problems, and nearly 10% of the incidence of mental health problems was shown to be attributed to abortion. While we have been talking a lot about the mother, which is so important, let's talk a little bit about the baby, which moves me into my last point, that the baby has rights just like we do. You may have heard many people, such as feminists, activists, pro-choice people, say, my body, my choice. I understand that people are really into themselves right now and self-advocating, which is good, but where is the boundary for an unborn baby? As we established before, I believe a baby is human upon conception. And so does Princeton, a university U.S. grads including Michelle Obama, Woodrow Wilson, and other notable people, because they say human development begins after the union of male and female gametes or germ cells during a process known as fertilization. Therefore, abortion is murder just as killing a 30-year-old man is murder. You would never get away with that. So why are we getting away with abortion? Yet most seem to believe that hurting a baby in the womb is totally ethical. According to John Finnis, Australian legal professional and philosopher, states that why should the baby live? Namely, that rights, subjecthood, and personhood have as a necessary condition that an undergoing of a harm be experienced. This possesses an absurd theory that we do not have the right to not be murdered during our sleep, which is completely crazy and would never be backed up in today's age, and it doesn't go with the Constitution. But there's really no difference between that theory being crazy and aborting a baby in the womb being crazy. Because babies can feel pain inside the womb, which means that the process of an abortion is causing pain to the baby. According to Kristen Fisher, a journalist who has ran her own copywriting business for 7 years, states that there's some evidence, though, that a fetus could feel pain earlier than 24 weeks, such as pain receptors start developing in the body by 7 weeks and are linked to the brain and by 12 to 15 weeks. There are pathways for pain in the brain structure called the cortical subplate as early as 12 weeks and the thalamus as early as 7 weeks. So this tells us that the babies can feel pain before 24 weeks, the illegal abortion age, which many people say that this is not true, and many people say babies can't feel pain, so it should be allowed, but it's completely not true. Regardless of this evidence, however, abortions are still legal. But when will this evidence be enough to not have abortion? Overall, this is why I think that abortion is disgusting, unethical, and not wise or responsible. Not only is it killing life in the womb, it is also hurting the mother beyond the physical and into the mental. And it takes the rights away from innocent children who didn't even have a chance to make an impact in the world or breathe. You will be saving so much pain if you do not have an abortion, I promise you, as you just heard. After listening to this, I hope you think twice on the repercussions that come with getting abortion. Think about the innocent, sweet people's sweet lives that you take away when you murder an unborn child. I'll leave you with this. The baby one is killed in abortion has a life just like you do when you are in the womb. Do not take that from them. Thank you.